Fox 9 Minnesota just did a hit piece on Project Veritas that is erroneous, irresponsible, and did precisely what they accuse us of doing. Fox 9 left the truth on the cutting room floor.
Liban Osman is featured prominently in this video by the right-wing disinformation group Project Veritas.
Fox 9 accuses Project Veritas of offering Liban a bribe. Liban was the man in the car who was illegally in possession with more than 3 ballots in Minnesota. Here's that clip. Now here's what Fox 9 said.
After he turned down a bribe.
How much was he willing to pay you?
$10,000.
$10,000 to lie and to say that you were collecting ballots for Ilhan Omar.
Yes.
Now, our source, Omar Jamal, told us that this was false, and we relayed this to Channel 9, and Channel 9 selectively edited out our statement that this was false. And more importantly, Liban admits in this report that that Snapchat and all those ballots were indeed in his car, which is against the law. The Snapchat footage you see is real. There are more than 3 ballots. That's illegal. Fox 9 edited out of their report our statement from our source saying that this was absolutely false, that we bribed nobody for that video. That's Liban's Snapchat. He did that. That's real, and it's against the law. In the article, it says, quote, despite Liban's boast that he had 300 ballots in the car, he said the number was closer to 20. Well, the problem with that logic is it's still against the law to have 20 ballots in Minnesota over the legal limit of 3. Liban Mohammed's video shows him violating Minnesota election laws, which prohibit someone from collecting more than 3 ballots. So the guy's bragging, he's just totally boasting about all the illegal activity, and Fox 9 is drawing a distinction between 320, when if you have more than 3 in the state of Minnesota, it is against the law, it's illegal ballot harvesting, a fact they don't include. This Fox 9 report also says because of various court decisions, the so-called ballot harvesting, collecting more than the statutory limit of 3 ballots, was permitted during a 5-week period this summer from July 28th to September 4th. Well, there's 2 problems with that. First of all, this video is recorded in the first week of July, not even in that time period. But second of all, the law was never suspended. Newsweek actually published this and then had to correct that. So Fox 9 is going to have to actually issue a retraction for something that Newsweek already corrected. Prosecution of the law was postponed, but ballot harvesting was never made legal. Again, we gave this comment to Fox 9. The reporter acknowledged it was against the law, and they edited this out of their reporting, and they will have to print a retraction. They did precisely what they accuse me and this organization of doing. They lied, and just like Newsweek, they're going to have to print a retraction. Next, Fox 9 says the man doing the cash exchange was a relative of Omar Jamal, according to their sources. When we told Fox 9 last night that's incorrect, Omar Jamal says that's incorrect. And again, we're supposed to believe Fox 9's sources when you can see incontrovertible evidence of a cash exchange for a voter registration form, pocket money in exchange for a form. They don't show you any evidence. They don't tell you who their sources are. We don't know what to believe except our own lying eyes. This is the propaganda vortex. Listen to this.
There's also this man seen accepting $200 to vote for Ilhan Omar. The exchange happening along Cedar Avenue. But sources tell us the man is actually a relative of Omar Jamal's, who thought Jamal was giving him $200 to send to another relative in Somalia.
I was shocked, and I did talk to him, and Ali told me he did not know Jamal Omar was recording him. And those $200 was for a sick kid that lives in Somalia.
But in the video, you can clearly see a cash exchange for a voter registration form. Literally an exchange of cash in exchange for registration form. The man, Siat, is not related to Omar Jamal. And their sources, we don't know who these people are. They could be saying whatever they need to say, because when you break the law and you're caught on tape, you are going to say and do anything to get out of it. This is not investigative journalism. This is news suppression in order to stop investigative journalism from happening. It's disgraceful, and Fox 9 will be having to issue at least one retraction. Next, Fox 9 says this man, Sabri, sent us a defamation letter.
Reached in Miami, Sabri told me his attorney had sent a letter to Project Veritas threatening to sue for defamation.
We were not asked for comment about any of this by Fox 9. We are happy to add another legal victory to our wall. There's nothing in here that refutes any of the evidence that we've proposed. We stand by our reporting and will happily win another lawsuit. Project Veritas has never lost a lawsuit once, unlike Fox News, the New York Times, and CNN, who've settled scores of lawsuits. We look forward to your day in court, Mr. Sabri. Then Fox 9 claims that our insider, Omar Jamal, changed his story, but they mistranslated what he said in this interview.
Is now reportedly changing his story, telling a Somali TV show he never actually witnessed an exchange of cash for ballots.
But we did. It was recorded. Liban in the car with all of his ballots, that's an actual videotape of a criminal activity. The cash exchange was actually recorded between Siat and that voter. They're saying he changed his story. We have a certified court translator that knows exactly what he said. He said something to the effect of he's demonstrating this for the world, and they're interpreting that as it was staged. That's obfuscation, that's lying, that has nothing to do with the video clips that you see here in the car with all the ballots, the cash exchanges. That's all incontrovertible evidence of illegal activity. They are wordsmithing. We stand by our reporting. We stand by our court-appointed legal translator. Fox 9, this is disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourself, and we want you to retract that as well. And then Fox 9 actually says that it's just a disinformation campaign according to researchers. Why is it disinformation? Because we embargoed the video with social media influencers and government officials ahead of time, because we asked people for comment. That's why it's a disinformation campaign. We did the thing that all reporters do all of the time, including Fox 9 and including the New York Times. Listen to this horseshit.
But all of this fits the Project Veritas MO, according to Stanford researchers, who say it appears to be a coordinated disinformation campaign. James O'Keefe meeting with Trump's Minnesota campaign chair, Mike Lindahl of MyPillow fame, right before the story was rushed out to compete with the New York Times blockbuster on President Trump's income taxes.
That's an assumption about motive. I have verifiable evidence that says that we had nothing to do with that tax story. We did our story. We made the decision to publish Sunday night well before Sunday when that tax story came out. You made an assumption reporting that. We met with the MyPillow guy to embargo the clips. We met with a lot of people to embargo the clips. The fact that you used that to justify it as a disinformation campaign completely discredits everything else you said in this video. Oh, and by the way, that New York Times article, this week, we are going to sue the New York Times for defamation. And I'll have more on that tomorrow.
As with most Project Veritas stories, there are questions about what was left on the cutting room floor.
I've just demonstrated repeatedly what you left on the cutting room floor. You selectively and deceptively edited out all of these things that we gave you last night. You didn't include any of these responses. You got this wrong about the law, and now you're going to have to retract it. You're going to have to retract it, and we're going to frame your retraction and put it on our wall of shame. We're going to sue the New York Times for defamation. We'll win on summary judgment, and you guys will end up paying us, which will make more videos. And I will fight you guys in court, and I will do so alone if necessary, because you're systemically corrupt. You're hurting our republic, you're hurting the First Amendment, and we will win. We will win because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. You left the stuff on the cutting room floor. We stand by our reporting, and we will win the day. I will see you in court.